Hi, I'm Curt, and this is Troll, our 1978 Trillium molded fiberglass travel trailer. Troll stands for Trill of a Lifetime. We bought our 1978 Trillium 4500 travel trailer in 2011. It needed some work, so we cleaned it up, made a few minor changes, and named it Troll, short for Trill of a Lifetime. In 2018, we traveled to the Bowler 50th anniversary celebration in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in order to try to get some ideas for remodeling and decorating Troll. Wow, did we get ideas! It became very obvious that owners of molded fiberglass travel trailers can be very passionate about their campers. Modifications, accessories, paint jobs, and more helped to give many of these units real identities and gave their owners an opportunity to make some real statements. There were even vendors there selling statements. We began to wonder if we could make a statement too. But what statement to make? At one point, we found a metal plaque that we thought was cute, but never found a good place to mount it. Recently, our youngest daughter presented us with a white bucket and lid, with the motto, "Camping is the Trill of a Lifetime" stenciled on it, with a submersible, multicolored LED light inside that beautifully backlights the stencil. It's perfect for keeping beer cold in, or for placing at the side of the road to let visitors know where our campsite is. Plus, we thought we could use the same idea to make a statement on the front of our fridge. A couple of years ago, we had pulled out the original dark wood grain panel that was on the fridge door, and we just put this plain white one in to just get away from the dark color and go with something a little bit lighter. So now we're going to try to put something else in here. First thing we have to do is take this panel out, which is simply a matter of removing a couple of screws. That releases this top plastic retainer that then comes out, and we can pull this panel out, and there we go. So we don't lose anything. We'll just pop the retainer panel back in place, put the screws back in so we don't lose them. There we go. And when we come back later with our new panel, we'll just take that off again and put the new panel in place. This is the original vinyl wood grain panel from the refrigerator door on our trailer. It's a textured vinyl coating on the one side, which theoretically we could paint, but it's kind of scuffed up and marked in places, so I'd rather not do that. On the back, it has a very heavy textured surface, so that won't work for what we're trying to do either. we had replaced this with a piece of thinner melamine coated panel, very similar to this. In fact, the same material. This is just a spare piece. However, it has a very or somewhat textured surface as well, so it's not quite smooth enough for what we want to do on the trailer. However, the other side has a very nice smooth surface that will do exactly what we want it to do. So we're going to use this piece, we'll cut it out, and we'll use the back side. It's a little bit oversized for what we need, so we'll just use the table saw to trim it down. So there we have our correctly sized piece of panel. Now we just need to sand down the edges and get ready to paint. We're going to want a nice smooth surface on this, so we're going to use a roll and tip method to try to get a nice even paint surface. We're going to start with Zinsser Bullseye 123 again, a nice primer that we've had a lot of success with in the past, and we're going to put a coat of that over top of the entire panel surface. We're going to use a fairly fine foam brush to spread it around, and then we'll tip it lightly with a foam brush just to remove any bubbles that might be on the surface. So that's what we're basically going to work with next. Stir up the paint, put some on, roll it around, and tip it. A little unorthodox, but this should work. bumps. And we'll go clean up our implements and let that dry and give it light sanding in the morning, and then we can start with our color coat. Okay, we've got the first coat of primer on our panel here, and it turned out not too bad, although I can see some unevenness in it still. It doesn't feel bad, but I'd like it to be a little bit smoother. So what we're going to do today is we're going to sand it lightly with our sanding block to smooth it down, wipe it with a cloth and a tack rag to pick up any dust, and then put another light layer of primer on it in order to help fill in some of the valleys and gaps. So that's what we'll do today. That's a light sanding. Quick wipe. And a quick wipe with a tack cloth to pick up dust. And we're going to put this on later than yesterday, but we'll use the same technique. A lot of this first bit is going to be absorbed by the brush or the roller. And we'll see how that works. Okay, we've got a pretty nice smooth surface here and nice primed coat on top of here. So next step, we're going to give it a very light sanding again, just to make sure it stays nice and smooth. Wipe it with a damp cloth, give it a wipe with a tack cloth, and then we'll put our first coat of the base paint on. So let's get to it. damp cloth. And a tap cloth, just to help pick up any dust that got left behind. And this is Benjamin Moore Advanced Alkyd paint. It's the same paint that we used inside our trailer for the cabinets. It's a semi-gloss that we're using, and I'm just going to use the same distribute and roll technique on this one that we used last time. And of course, again, the roller's going to soak up an awful lot of paint. But maybe this won't be too bad for a first coat. And there's our first coat of orange. Looking pretty good. Actually covered a little better than I thought it would, but it'll probably still take at least 2 coats, maybe 3. And we'll see how it goes and what it looks like in the morning. So now it'll just be time to clean the roller and let this coat dry. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we've got a pretty good first coat on here now. So, same routine, sand, wipe with a damp cloth, tack cloth, put another coat on. Here we go. And here we go. There we go. Second coat. Clean the tools. Wait until next week. Or tomorrow. Okay, we've got a pretty good finish there. Looking good. But one more time. Well, that's looking pretty good. We have a pretty nice surface on here. It's not perfect, but personally I don't think I can get it any better than this. So we're going to call it a day. It's cold out here in the garage, so I'm going to take this in the house and let it cure indoors at a warm temperature for a few days before we carry on to the next step. Okay, do you see any similarity between this and Carrie's car? Okay, we're back with our refrigerator door panel from our trailer. It's been primed, painted a few coats, and now it's had about a week or so to cure, so the paint's all nice and good. We're going to have Jake Volk help us here on the rest of this, my son-in-law. And he and my daughter were the ones that provided us with the lettering and the graphics to go on here. So Jake, let's center everything down and get it started.
Let's do it.
I'll let you take the lead here. So first we just have to get everything into the right position, right?
Yep.
You want a couple pieces of masking tape?
Sure, that's always handy.
That'll help hold everything in position. The top and the bottom ones are a little bit more critical for positioning, and then the graphic in the center can kind of go wherever it needs to go to look good.
There.
Okay. Do you want any more? Okay. Good. So everything is well laid out. Looks good. What's next?
Next, we pick one and start peeling it back and sticking her down.
So now we have to take the backing off, right?
Yep.
And leave the front surface where it's supposed to be. And the drastic plastic comes out. And I guess it's good to kind of start in the middle and work out to get the air bubbles out, right?
Yep. And that just kind of helps keep them straight too.
Yep. And good pressure to help get everything to stick well, eh?
slow off the start usually helps.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not tracking air as bad.
Then we peel off the front face. Very gently. And there's one section. Looking good. Ooh, yeah, looking good. Wow. That is totally awesome. Camping really is the thrill of a lifetime. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Jake.
Anytime.
And we'll take this home and finish it up a little bit later. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got our graphic installed now, and we're back home again. We're going to give it a quick wipe down with the tack cloth just to remove any dirt and dust, and then we're going to give it a clear coat spray. This is just an acrylic lacquer from the automotive store that I've had around for a while. Still have some left, so I'm going to put a couple little coats of this on, and we'll let it dry. We'll let that dry. Time for one more final coat. And we'll let that dry. Okay, so now we have our new panel ready to go onto the door of our fridge. Again, like we did originally, we just take a couple of the screws out. That removes the top retainer on our fridge door. We take our new panel, which needs to be bent a little bit just to get it into the new space. There we go, and down into the spot, and we put our retainer back into the top of the door. Reattach our screws. And there we have it, a new fridge door statement. Camping is the thrill of a lifetime. Okay, there's one other thing that I want to do to finish this project off. Originally, when this unit was built back in 1978, the trim panel in the fridge door here probably would have been a metal piece with a wood grain plastic finish. And somewhere along the line that disappeared before we got it. So what we're going to do is I just want to put a little bit of the stripe from the outside, similar to what we have on the outside of the trailer, in here as a bit of a decoration, and to hide the screw connections here. So the first thing we're going to do is take the screws out and just pop this out again for a couple minutes. And we pop this piece back off. There we go. Take it into the shop. Okay, now we have our little plastic piece here. I'm going to just give it a bit of a cleaning with solvent and get it ready for our sticker. So here's a piece of the plastic decal tape that we have on the outside of Troll, and I'm just going to use a piece of this on our plastic fridge part and decorate that up a little bit. Want to make sure that it goes the right way around with the heavy stripe on the bottom, not the other way around. It fits almost perfectly in the slot we have here. Going to have to trim just a little bit off the bottom. I have to take the backing tape off of it. And we'll start on one side. And move to the other. We're going to line up the top with the top of the trimming with a razor knife. And also kind of pushing the sticker into the corner. And give it a quick wipe with a fresh cloth. Remove some of the excess plastic on the edge. And that cleans that up quite a bit. Now just one more thing to do. And that's to pop a couple of holes in here for our little screws. And we can take that back and put it back in the trailer. Okay, so we've got our stripe on. Now we just need to pop this back into the top section above our panel and put our other two screws back in. There we go, finished.